everyone, and welcome to a Knitty Heather scrap. Today we are going to say goodbye to some old friends and move on with our knitting life. I have two shawls that I've had on the needles both for well over a year, and it is time to frog them. Please join me as I go on my first major frogging adventure. For those of you who aren't familiar with the term frogging as it relates to knitting is ripping something out. It's rip it out. That's why we call it frogging. And I have two shawls that just need to get out of my whips pile. I don't really want to finish them. Now, there's lots of reasons that you might frog something. Maybe there's a mistake and you just need to completely start over. Or in my case, the project just is not bringing you any joy anymore. I think both of these projects are very beautiful, but I don't know that I will ever wear them, and I just don't really feel like finishing them. The first project is the Snark-o-meter shawl by Casapinka. Here's as far as I got on it. Not terribly far. I think I was only into the second clue. This was a mystery knit along. I don't know if it's the stitch combination or my yarn choices. I think it's kind of both, honestly. I don't know that I'm a huge fan of this darker color that I used at first and this kind of lighter purple color. I just don't know that the four colors I ended up choosing for this mystery knit along go as well together now that they're starting to work up as I was hoping. So I'm just not loving it. I think all this yarn is beautiful on its own. I think it is a very interesting design with lots of fun stitch patterns and textures. I just don't know that I want to finish it. So this will be my first project I am going to frog. The next project I am planning on frogging cuts a little deeper because I do feel like I've put a little more effort onto this one, but it's really not bringing me any joy anymore, and I honestly can't really see myself wearing it. And that is my Shalography. This was the 2021 Mystery Knit Along by Stephen West, a brilliant designer, genius. He puts really awesome things in all of his designs. Absolutely nothing against him or this pattern. I just don't know that I'm gonna ever finish it, and I do have a lot of other things that I would rather work on. As you can see, I was working on this first wing with this light blue and green color, and there's so much more left to go on this guy that I just don't know that I can plow through. There is a whole crisscross section where you are crossing stitches over each other. It looks really cool. I love the look of it, but I just don't think I want to do it. And then there's of course the famous border for Shalography, which is a bunch of different sections of all of these colors. The one thing I do like about this shawl is I do like this color combo. It's very different from me. And these were all yarns I picked out of my stash, so I am pretty proud of that. But again, I just don't think I'm going to be able to finish this. I have a lot of other things that I would rather be knitting on. Again, not the most practical piece for me to have in my wardrobe anyway. It's beautiful, and congratulations to those of you who have actually finished this guy. I just don't think I'm going to be one of them. So this is the second project that's going to be probably a little bit more difficult to frog. So I'm feeling good about my decision to frog these. Please, let's hope that I don't end up with a huge tangled mess as I'm trying to do this. Okay, here I go with the Snark-o-meter Mystery Knit Along. First, I need to take out all these little stitch markers. Last one out. Just kidding, there was one more. Now to rip out the needle. my cute little cinnamon roll stitch marker. If you have never unwound yarn before, it ends up kind of looking like ramen noodles. Should I keep all of these little bits of yarn? Should I combine all of the colors into one magic knot ball? Should I do like colors in their own magic knot ball? What would you do? Let me know. It's actually pretty satisfying to watch this rip out really nicely. And yet another little ball wound up. This was a really pretty color from Knit Crate a while ago. Well, for those of you interested, my Apple Watch has already given me about 11 minutes of exercise from this. Okay, I'd be going into hoarder territory if I saved just this couple feet of yarn, right? Okay, so here is the aftermath. I was actually able to keep my main color skein intact. I had never broken that yarn, so that will be nice to put this skein of yarn back into stash. And then I have all these little scraps, and then this one little piece that's literally maybe 5 or 6 feet long. I think that will end up in the trash. But here we go. I was able to successfully frog my Snark-o-meter mystery knit along. All right, now on to this guy. This might be a little bit more difficult to frog. There's a lot more stitch and texture stuff going on, so wish me luck. We'll see how it goes. I do only have one stitch marker right here that was marking my short rows. And then I have my progress keeper. This is a cute little cupcake from Bluebird Miniatures. And then I think I had this clippy marker just showing the right side of the work. So that is gonna go out of here. And I do have 2 balls of yarn attached. I've got green and blue. So I'll have to be extra careful with this one. But first, out go the needle stoppers, and out goes the needles. Sorry, Mr. West, no offense. I appreciate your work. I appreciate your creativity. I just don't really want to wear this. And out they are. Now I'm committed. First I have to get this under control in the first place. I I just spent about the last 45 minutes frogging that bobble row, and this is 7 grams of yarn just for one bobble row and back. Bobbles take a lot of yarn. So I think I'm going to take a break for the day and finish frogging the rest of my Shalography at another time. To be continued. Hello again. It is a brand new day. This is the next day and I'm continuing on my frogging adventure, finishing ripping out my Shalography. Wish me luck. Some of these things could get interesting. So far so good. I'm just ripping out the triangles part, which isn't too terribly difficult. I guess it's a good thing I didn't really ever weave in these ends. I just ripped out the 2 colors for the triangle section. Now I need to get rid of these green welts. Now I'm going to undo the little wormy guys. As you can probably tell, this is kind of turning into a bit of a mess. I think I'm going to try to cut and then maybe salvage this bottom part to use as some kind of decor. Stay tuned, I'll let you know what I ended up doing. So here is what I did have to kind of chop up in order to be able to salvage that last little beginning section. But here is all the yarn I was able to salvage. I finished off these 2 skeins of green and blue and had a couple just little scraps of the other colors. Not too much damage, all things considered. So thank you very much for joining me on my first true experience in frogging anything of any significance. I've obviously started projects over and kind of ripped back and had to correct many mistakes. But this was the first time I actually completely frogged a project with no intention of starting it back up. I guess the biggest lesson learned is it's just knitting. You should enjoy it. And if there's a project that isn't bringing you joy, there's no shame in ripping it out and using the yarn for something else. That is what I intend to do. So let me know if you have any ideas of what I should do with the leftover yarn, and especially what I should do with the little tiny scraps. I'm pretty tempted to just put them in a big magic knot ball and then add them to one of my scrappy projects. Let me know what you would do. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope this was a little bit of inspiration if you have some projects in your whip basket that just don't want to be finished. If you would appreciate the freedom of letting certain projects go, especially toward the end of this calendar year, then by all means just frog it. There is a lot of satisfaction in knowing that you won't be spending hours and hours on a project that you don't necessarily enjoy, and that you can use that yarn for something that you might enjoy more, or pass the yarn on to a friend who might also enjoy it. No shame in frogging. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.